Hello my friends. Welcome to Paper Happiness City with Monica. My name is Monica Formosa and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the Wide Bay area in Queensland, Australia. That's on the east coast here. Bear with me today. I have a teeny tiny little mouth ulcer underneath my tongue and it's just affecting my speech just a little bit. So if I sound a little bit weird and not my usual way of talking, that is the reason why. But anyway, moving on, Colour Inspiration Challenge number 200 has just kicked off and we are super excited to be able to celebrate this milestone in our group. Our guest designer is the lovely Proctor. She does amazing work, so please do go and check her out. And the lovely Lou has created our graphic for this challenge in Canva. I just thought I would point that out. She does amazing work, our Lou does. She creates all our graphics with all the colours. So yeah, it's great that that we can rely on her for that. Okay. This is a super special challenge. I don't know whether it's ever been done before. It certainly hasn't been done while I've been part of the design team. So for this challenge, we are to choose our favorite Stampin' Up colour. It can be current, it can be retired, it can be an in colour, it can be a colour from the 4 colour families, which are the subtles, the brights, the regals and the neutrals. There's 4 of them. And we're also inviting some of the past design team members, crew members along to help us celebrate, which will be exciting. I can't wait to go and see what everyone has created. We are a group over on Facebook. You do not, if you want to participate, you do not need to have a blog to participate. You can just upload your project straight to the wall. But if you do have social media, you are very welcome to link that in your post. Okay, so choosing my favorite Stampin' Up colour, I just went with what we've got at the moment. Ordinarily, my favorite would probably Night of Navy, but at the moment I've kind of moved it aside for this lovely Secret Sea color, which is such a lovely color, and it will depend on what you're putting it with. It can be a blue, it can move towards the greens if you want to, but it's just such a lovely neutral. And without a word of a lie, I will be so sad. I've never actually cried, if for want of a better word, of when a color, an in color, has retired, but I will for this one because it's actually what I use instead of black for a lot of things. Okay, so that's my card. I have gone against the rules just a teeny tiny bit and used the, what is this, cloud cover for my sentiment strip. But anyway, sorry guys. All right, let me show you what I have used. Oops, what was that? That was my dimensionals. Okay, Charming Day. I have used both the stamp set, this image here, and then the dies for a little bit of die cutting. And then I pulled out, this congratulations is from, let me think, Sweetly Scripted. I had it here in front of me. It's a retired set because I wanted something that went across the whole width of my card, and this does it very nicely. There is another beautiful congratulations, I think, in, is it Sunset Sailing, possibly? It's another lovely one. But you know, have a look in your collection of stamps. I'm sure you've got something that would work okay. I have also used this lovely glimmer paper. It's more glimmer paper. Peaceful Garden 12 by 12 glimmer paper, and in this pack you get 6 sheets, and you've got 3 tones of blues. You've got the light, the medium or the mid, and the dark. Where are we? Let's come down here where I can show you the 3 of them. Okay. So we have this mid-tone blue, which you could pair with Azure Afternoon, or what's our other one? Oh, I've got a mental blank. And I can hear you all telling me what it is. Azure Afternoon? Oh, goodness me. That's funny. Blueberry bushel. Oh, sorry. Then we have this darker one, which you could pair with Secret Sea, which is what I've done, or Night of Navy. And then the light one, which you could put with Cloud Cover, or what's the other colour? I cannot even think of my colours today. Soft Sea Foam. Okay, so that would work well with them, and they are just gorgeous, and they're not glittery at all. Now I'm wiping my hands quite firmly, and there's no sparkle on my hands. So if you're a little bit about getting glitter and sparkles all over your work surface while you're creating, that does not do it. So it's great for the environment. Okay, right. My bits and pieces, you'll need Versamark. I have also used, on this particular card, I've used the light Secret Sea Stampin' Blend and the Colour Lifter, not the dark one. I didn't use that one. And Secret Sea ink for my sentiment. I'll need that to show you that in a moment. And what else did I need? Oh, adhesives, liquid glue. I've got my black Stampin' Dimensionals. You can buy these in a packet with 4 sheets. You get 2 sheets of the large and 2 sheets of the small. And I'll be using those today because of the Secret Sea. And glue dots or liquid glue. You'll also need some clear embossing powder, and I've got all that here with me here. Clear, I'll put it into a little container. I've got my tray and all my little tools there ready to go. My heat tool is beside me. I have done a little bit of a prep work beforehand, but I'll just go through quickly the card bits and pieces. So you'll need a card base. All right, this is just a regular card base. You'll need a piece of Secret Sea, and at the moment it's the same size as my card base, and I will trim that down. I've got a piece of white which will go in the middle, and that has been cut down. I think that's like maybe 1/4 inch smaller on 2 sides, or 1/2 centimeter if you're using metric. A strip for your sentiment, a piece of a scrap of Secret Sea for your die cut, and a scrap of the dark glimmer paper also for your die cutting. Okay, all right, so I have done a little bit, as I said earlier, a little bit of the prep beforehand. So I've stamped my sentiment, that'll go on, and I've also cut out a few of these. So a couple in the glimmer paper, and then a couple in just the regular Secret Sea. cardstock. I think I've got scraps left over from when I did my first card. Okay, so we've got all that going on. And that, I will put that back in my packet because otherwise I've got so much going on my desk at the moment between prepping for Christmas classes and Colour INKspiration and everything else that's happening. I've got birthdays and I've got a couple of big birthdays, milestone birthdays coming up. So I've just got stuff everywhere. Okay. Right, on the inside I will show you I have stamped that image in the corner, and I've done that again for this one. I'm going to put that out the road. I don't need those there. All right, so I have done that. I've done that here, and you know what? I'm going to glue that in right now, and that way this is a brandy new glue bottle, and I need to remember to go very gently because you go from a bottle that's almost empty to a brand new one where you've got to squeeze super hard to get your glue out to not having to squeeze at all practically. All right, so there's the inside of our card. Super easy, and that was just stamped in the corner. You could go top corner as well if you wanted to. We do need to do some stamping here. I've got a piece of paper. Where's my Versamark? And all we're going to do, now for this card, I didn't plan it very well. So for this one, what I'm going to show you, and for this I'm going to apply my ink to my stamp this way, and I'm going to get my stamp and roughly kind of think about where your strip is going to go, and maybe stamp it here. So we're going to stamp that all around. Filling in all those gaps. It's a little bit time consuming, so if you do want to fast forward, I will not be offended. I'm not sure whether it's really tricky to see, although it's not too bad with it's easier on the darker one. All right, so I've got to try and fit this in. Trying to be random. All right, where are we going here? All right, I think I might fill in. I don't really want to put leaves with leaves here, but I think that's what I'm going to have to do. How does this go? Maybe this way. And I think I've just painted myself into a corner here. Maybe not. All right, let's go. My sentiment will actually come across there roughly. All right, so there's all our stamping done. I'm not sure if you can see that, whether the camera will pick that up. But using Versamark, it's a sticky clear ink. And I didn't actually use my powder beforehand, so let's hope it's clear anyway. So let's try and find a spot where I haven't inked. That's not too bad. Okay. All right, I'm going to just put that on there, and move that right out the road. Ooh. Get my heat tool, and we're going to get my, this is so tricky. All right, I want to get a reasonably good grip, but okay, we're going to heat this up. I'm going to turn on my gun, I'm so sorry. Turn on my heat tool. Let it warm up a little bit before I start. I like to just warm up the base, the back side of my cardstock before I start. It just helps. And we're going to just heat that powder, and as soon as you see it change from a powder to a shiny it'll go shiny, then you move on to the next area. This is amazing. This is something that still amazes me, even after being a crafter for, I'd say 20 years at least. All right, so there's our, there's our piece. I'm not sure whether the camera will pick that up, but it's just great. All right, I hope you can see that. All right, I'm going to move that out the road because we don't need that. So now it's a matter of, and I needed to really change the blade in my paper trimmer because I know it's not the sharpest at the moment. I've done a lot of die cutting at paper trimming, but what I will do is get a scrap of paper. I've got a piece of white here, and I'm going to clean out my track because I can see it's very filthy. This definitely doesn't help your blade having all that fluff in there, so that looks better. Okay, so now you need to decide how you're going to trim this. I think I'm going to trim a little bit from here and maybe a little bit from the base, and I'm going to trim it, take 1/4 inch off, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I can't remember what my measurements were for this one. Is that 1/4? Yeah, that's only 1/4. So that's only 1/2 inch. Oh, yep, 1/2 inch less on 2 sides. That's my scoring blade. I do not need you. All right. Let's go 1/2 inch that side. And these flowers are bigger than these ones, so let's go 1/2 inch on this side. So I'm using these lines here. This is, each line here is 1/4 inch, so I'm going to go, I think that must be just a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, and there's our card front. Now, on my original card, what I did is I then went in and shaded my flowers with my Stampin' Blend, but this time I'm not going to do that. I want to leave it, have a cleaner design, but I have embossed a rose or a flower or an image here rather, and I'll show you what I did. And that way, if you want to go and repeat this card, you can see what happens. So I've got my light secret C, and I'm taking the brush end and just adding a little bit of color where the petals lie over the top of the ones underneath. Okay. So there's a petal. This one's on top, so I'm going onto the flower. I'm coloring the petal underneath. the same for this one. I'm going to add a little. Go round. There's a leaf under there, so I'll go here, and I'm also going to do the leaves just to add a little bit of dimension. And then what I did, because what happens is you have these harsh lines. I think the lovely Cheryl Miller taught me this little trick. You get your color lifter, and again using the brush end, and you're going to go and basically go over the edge of that color, and what that does is it softens that harsh line where the color stops and the cardstock begins. Now you won't see this immediately, but what I'll do is, oh, I missed a whole heap there. Where's my light? But wait, there's more. There's ones here. Now I won't do this smaller flower, and I'll show you the difference. All right, I'm just going to let that dry because that'll dry off. All right, so you can already see the leaves where I did it first has starting to, that line has blurred. And if you're not happy, you can go back in and do a little bit more. Compared to this small flower, you've got a blurred shadow as opposed to this harsh line that's happening here on this one. So that's a lovely little trick to know. All right, so I need my card base. And I'm going to add a few of the black dimensional. Because I've actually lifted that up. So this, you'd probably, if you're going to post this, I would suggest you not lifting this layer, this back layer up. But because this is for a special occasion, I kind of like it to be have a little bit more dimension than usual. And I'm putting a lot of things here, dimensionals on here. That sheet has finished. I might just grab a couple of these little ones. That will do. Okay, might take a big tool because I'm going to be here all day otherwise. Come on. I should have. Come on. Now you could use this card for a graduation. Even an engagement or a wedding. My daughter had dark colours for her. It was so dark everyone thought that was black, but it wasn't black. Well, it might have been black, but it was one of those colours that you kind of had to have a second look at. And I like to add a little bit of wet glue And that just gives me a little bit of wriggle time. Because those dimensionals, once they go down, it's a bit tricky. Now work out which way is up and which way is down. I've got a little piece of white there, and we're going to try with the camera right here. We're going to try and get this where I need it to be. There we go. Possibly could come up. All right, it's there now. Once again, when I've got to work out what I did with my sentiment strip. All right, it's in with all my die cuts. Oh, there we go. Found them. Okay, so once again, I'm going to put in some dimensionals, and all I'm going to do is add a dimensional here and then dimensionals probably to about halfway. And that way I can tuck my leaves in underneath later. Do I do, oh, actually, where's this? I've got this, I might just use this. I love using my edge pieces for my sentiments. All right. So, whoops. Under this end. And then, do I just use the whole thing? Maybe not. Oh, wrong one. I'll put that on there, save that for later. And we will use that. So can you see what I mean by planning your stamping? I wanted this flower to be there in the center, but off center just that little bit, offset that little bit. Once again, if you wanted to, and oh, that was lucky. I might just put a little bit of glue. Okay. Go. It's really tricky when you've got a camera right above. Come on, come down just a little bit. Okay. So my sentiment strip basically is longer than the width of here. I think I've trimmed it off like about 1/8 of an inch, maybe smaller than this measurement here. And that goes almost to the edge of my card. Okay, so we're nearly done. The next thing I want to do is add a few of these in, and I'm going to actually trim these. Because I don't want, they are a bit big, and don't be afraid of trimming things down if things aren't going to fit. I'm not quite sure. Yep, this one maybe go even smaller. All right, so we're kind of going to go here like this. Do I use, just wondering whether I can use this one, the end of that, just to pull that colour. All right, let's do that. This is where it gets a bit tricky. You can use glue dots or your seal if you don't like messing around with wet glue. I'm going to try and slide that in there without getting glue everywhere. I am going to put just a regular cardstock over the top. The plain Secret C over the top, so that will hide just a little bit. Oh, I wanted this to go in under. Ooh, now I've messed that up. Oh. Oh. All right. You actually won't see that. I'll let you know. Not sure whether I'm going to go the larger one here. I might just do that. And you should just go slide in there, but I think there's a piece of, it's a little bit sticky. All right, yeah, let's do you. Now, if you wanted to, you can go back and put a little bit of a glue dot underneath those leaves. Just puts a bit of sparkle behind those top ones. And then for this, I'll use the small one. And we'll go push that in there. And then I actually think I just used this double one. See that tiny, I'm not sure, there's just a tiny little blue, and I think all I did was use this. Just so that there's a token of soft, Secret C happening right there. There we go. All right. So there we have it. You could, if that's your thing, you could go back and put in some, put some embellishments on there. But I think with the sparkle that's already there and the clear embossing, I really don't think it needs anything else. But you could add in a little bit of ribbon or a little bit of a few sparkles if that's your preference. I will show you side by side. I'm not sure whether the camera will pick them up, but here's my original with the shaded areas, and then this is the one that I've created now that is plain, and it has a cleaner feel, cleaner design to it. And if you're going to do this, by all means, that's entirely up to you which way you go, but I do wanted to show you another option. Okay guys, so that's it from me. Thank you very much if you're still here. Thank you very much for watching. I do know that time is always a little bit precious, especially at this time of year. And please do go, if you're not already part of the Colour INKspiration group, I will link the group in the description box below, and if you're not a member or not part of the group, you will need to ask a few questions. Also, if you invite anyone into the group, just let them know that they also have to answer some questions, just so that we know that you're a real person. Yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to keep it a safe place. And yeah, because you know, we like to But yes, I can't wait to go and see what everyone has created, because this is going to be a fun challenge. All right, guys. Mwah. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.